Alright guys, new patch just announced for auto chess. It's actually underway right now as we speak. Game is under maintenance. It should be over within the hour hopefully, so by the time you see this video on YouTube, hopefully the patch is live. But I want to quickly go over all the changes. If you want to read the actual patch notes, you can read them from the Twitter or Discord. I'll leave a link to it in the description of this video. Their actual patch notes just look like this, but we're going to go over the pretty graphics here in this video. So starting off, we have Grim Touch. Most of its ability is exactly the same. You're still going to get the ink splash where it connects all the pieces together, and then you can chain your single targeted abilities with Grim Touch. Stuff like Shining Archer or Desperate Doctor will still work with Grim Touch. The only real difference here is that the Ink Touch part of its ability will now transform your enemy pieces into allied demon pieces, which will become important later when we go over the new demon synergy. Basically, because of this, if you run Grim Touch and like either 4 Witchers or 2 Witchers, you can get additional pure damage with the way that the new demon synergy is going to work. But we'll get to that. Other than that, it's pretty much all the same with Grim Touch. So basically, it's just like a small buff or a small adjustment to make Grim Touch an important piece to use if you're going to play demons. Soulbreaker, same ability as before, where it throws like the little shuriken. But now it has this additional bounty feature where when you first kill a unit, you'll gain a bounty, which essentially just means you'll get a free coin. And once you star up the Soulbreaker, the bounty counter resets, so you can get like you can basically get 1 coin for a 1-star Soulbreaker killing something, and then once you 2-star it, you can get 3 coins for killing something. You only get it 1 time, so you're only going to get in a perfect scenario. Let's say you roll a shot with 3 Soulbreakers in it. And it's like during the first 3 creep rounds, you can play each of them separately. Don't star it up, obviously. Like play 2 of them on round 2. They each kill 1 of the creeps, so you get 2 gold for that. And then you put the one that was still on your bench into the game on the round 3 creep wave. And then that one can also get a bounty, so you'll get 3 coins. And then going into round 4, you star it up. And then it'll kill 1 of your opponent's pieces and you'll get another 3 coins. So basically, in a perfect world, if you roll enough of these during the first 3 creep waves, you can get 6 separate coins for running Soulbreaker in your build in the early game. So it's kind of like how some people like myself like to buy 2 unicorns and then upgrade it and then sell the unicorns for 3 gold. When it only costs you 2 gold to upgrade it. It's just like a little min-max thing you can do to accrue some extra gold. It might not seem like a big deal, but like in the early game, this can be the difference between you hitting like 10 gold like on round 6 rather than round 7, or like having 20 gold like faster, and then like it becomes easier and easier to hit those interest breakpoints throughout the game. So if you can fit Soulbreaker, if you roll Soulbreaker, even if it doesn't really figure into your end game build, it's probably worth trying to take advantage of this new bounty feature. So this is what I was talking about earlier with the new demon synergy. Same as before, where you can only have 1 demon on the board for it to be active. If you have 2 demons, then it won't be activated anymore. So in order to play it with multiple demons, you'll have to use Witchers. But it has this new ability. Basically, the base attack dealt by allied demons will be considered as pure damage. So read that carefully. It's base attack. So if you're running something like Shadow Devil and it uses its ability, that's not going to be pure damage. Only the base attack dealt by Shadow Devil will be the pure damage. And then each other allied demon piece increases pure damage by 10% up to 100%. So We've been having an argument about what exactly this means. We think, or I think, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is additional pure damage. So if you do run Witchers and you have like 4 demons on the board, you're going to do an additional 40% pure damage. And I believe it's only going to be base attack pure damage and not ability pure damage, the additional pure damage here. So again, I don't think it'll buff your Shadow Devil to do pure damage, but sometimes the wording isn't quite clear on these patch notes, so we might actually have to play it in game to know for sure if the way that I'm understanding this is how it's going to be implemented. Let's just skip ahead so you guys understand the context here, because the new Witcher 4 synergy will make all your allies be considered a demon. So if you're running like 4 Witchers and you're level 7, this will essentially mean that you're getting 70% increased pure damage for all your base attacks. So that means all your base attacks are doing pure damage, plus you're getting an additional 70% pure damage. Whereas before with Demon, it was like plus 50% pure damage for running demons. So if you're running anything like 5 demons or less, it's going to be a nerf to the demon synergy. If you're running anything higher than level 5, it's going to be a buff to the demon synergy, except for the fact that it's only base attacks now and not abilities. Before it was all damage. So unless I'm reading this wrong, I believe it's only going to apply to base attacks. So even if you get up to plus 100% additional pure damage, it might ultimately result in a nerf to the demon synergy, since it's not going to apply to the abilities. But we'll have to see, and it really depends on what kind of demon build you're playing. Like if you're like playing it with Fallen Witcher, then all you really care about is the base attack damage anyway, not really the ability damage. So kind of depends on the context of the build you're playing. Next, Warlock synergy. This class trait is exactly the same as before, so no change there. And then they're just basically nerfing the amount of ability and base attack lifesteal at every level here at 2 Warlock, 4 Warlock, and 6 Warlock. At 6 Warlock, they're having this new like additional ability where when a piece dies, the ally Warlock piece with the lowest HP percentage will absorb 30% of its max HP. So like I think Shadow Devil level 2 star is like 1300 HP. So let's say your 2-star Shadow Devil dies, and let's say your lowest HP unit is your Nightmare, and it's at 25% HP. It's going to absorb 30% of that 1300 from Shadow Devil, which is, I don't know, 200 something probably. 1300 times 30. Sorry guys, hotkey. 390, so it's going to add 390 HP to that Nightmare. So honestly, I don't feel like this is, I mean, it's kind of nice, but I think I would rather have the original amount of lifesteal than have this new absorbing HP once your units die. Overall, I feel like this is like a nerf to the Warlock synergy, but we'll have to see it play out. Maybe specifically in a 6 Warlock Nightmare build, this will allow the Nightmare to like accrue more and more HP by the time it's the only unit left, and maybe it'll make it a little bit harder for your opponent to kill, but I think having the additional lifesteal is probably better, but we'll see. The Kira synergy, the only change here is that the Devouring can now trigger the Insectoid heirs, which, for those of you guys who weren't aware, when you consume stuff with the Kira synergy, if you were to try an Insectoid and like put your like duplicates around the Venomancer and they, you know, get consumed, you wouldn't spawn any insects, but now you're going to be able to spawn insects. So because of this, like Insectoid just hasn't really been playable in this meta. Also, Insectoid is just kind of a slow build to get online because it requires so much gold, because so many of the pieces are 4-cost pieces, and the meta is kind of quick right now, or has been. So with all the other changes plus this change, perhaps the Insectoid build becomes popular again. So this is definitely something I'm going to try to play like as soon as the patch goes live. Probably one of the first things I'm going to try. So be on the lookout for that. 9 Warriors is getting a buff. The reflect pure damage is now going to be 150% of your piece's armor rather than just 100%. And the amount of armor is the same, but this armor has been buffed multiple times. I think it was maybe plus 16 before this, and it was probably even lower before that. They've been buffing the 9 Warrior over and over to try to make it viable, but without nerfing the Witcher. And as long as the Witcher is popular and strong, you know, and you're doing all this pure damage, then Warriors can't really function. Their ability becomes useless because there's no damage to reflect, because you're only getting hit with pure damage. But now, with this change to the demon synergy, and also we're going to get to another interesting tidbit. There might be some room for 9 Warrior to be viable again. Also, if people are playing Insectoid, I think 9 Warrior is one of the stronger counters to Insectoid. It used to be that the best counter to Insects was Warlock, but now that they're nerfing Warlock, in my mind, this is a nerf that'll make Insect more viable. Plus, with this Kira synergy, make Insect more viable. That could mean that 9 Warriors become more viable. So, also Witchers weren't ever like head-to-head. Witchers aren't really a good counter, or like pure damage wasn't really a good counter to Insectoid either. So overall, I think hopefully this changes up the meta. Hopefully we're not stuck in a Demon Witcher meta anymore, and we're moving towards some of these other ideas. And then lastly, the equipment. We're getting 2 new pieces. We're getting this epic divinity imprint. I think originally they had this slated to be a rare item, but they settled on making it an epic item, and instead of having it 20% magic resistance, they buffed it up to 30% to fit the new epic rarity. The carrier gains the divinity synergy, so this is very similar to the Mother Egg Insectoid rare item. So you can run like 4 divinity, but while only having 3 divinity pieces. You could pick 2 of these and only have 2 divinity pieces. Like you could have Khan and God of Thunder and then 2 of these divinity imprints and have 4 divinity. But to me, paying an epic item cost for this doesn't seem worth it. But maybe like in the end game, if you're like in a 1v1 situation versus another person who's also playing divinity or also playing mages because you want the magic resistance, and then you can maybe reforge for this item, but you've probably already skipped it at that point. I don't know. I just personally don't see this being super competitive, but we'll see. I could be wrong. The next item is Winter Embrace, rare quality. This is basically a mini ice armor from back in the day, many item patches ago. For those of you guys who remember the way that item used to work, it would do like magical damage to an area around it, and it was really strong in like 9 mages. People would put it on their like Warpwood Sage or their Thunder Spirit. It also is going to reduce enemy attack speed by 50%. It's in a 313 yard radius, so that's like 2 or 3 squares away from your unit, all the way around. So if you put it in the very center front line on your Warpwood or on your Thunder Spirit, it should hit the majority of your opponent's board, unless they backline everything, like they're playing 9 assassins or they're playing like shamans or something. So this item is probably worth grabbing if you are going to play specifically 9 mages. I would definitely go for this. They're going to remove the Dragon Bone item, which is fine. That'll keep the rare quality pool the same amount of items. Keep in mind that adding this item to the epic pool will you know, make it harder for you to hit the specific epic items you want, you know. So if you're looking for stuff like Eternity or Exorcism Armor specifically, this item's going to dilute the epic item pool, so keep that in mind. And then they're making 2 changes to the chest pool. This is what I was kind of hinting at earlier. They are finally taking the Fallen Witcher out of the main pool and putting it into the extended pool. Same thing with the Otter Hunter, which has gone in and out multiple times. Same thing with the Gem Artisan, it's gone in and out multiple times. Same thing with Shadow Devil, it's gone in and out multiple times. I don't know why they're like obsessed with these 3 cost pieces specifically, always taking them in and out. But anyway, Gem Artisan and Shadow Devil are getting added to the regular pool again. So with the change to the Kira synergy, plus having Gem Artisan in the regular pool, I can imagine a lot of people trying to play Insectoid using Gem Artisan. And hopefully with Witcher getting into the extended pool, we have way less people forcing the Witchers, which I'm not sad about. And then other than that, they made some team item choosing duration adjustment here. If you're someone who plays teams, maybe this is important to you. But that's it. I think that's all the patch notes. There's, you know, some other little details here. If you guys want to read it, again, I will link these patch notes in the description. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Appreciate it. If you're not already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and smash the like button for me. And you guys can check me out on Twitch. I stream every day. I'm streaming right now as I record this since the game's under maintenance. So come check me out. And until my next video, guys, have a good one. Peace out.